Oh, I had just gotten married. I was, what, about 22? And so my husband sent for me to come to New Mexico to join him. He was in the service. So my mother prepared me for everything, but she didn't prepare me for prejudiceness. And she gave me a hat pin. She says, Jackie, if anyone bother you, you sticking with this hat pin. I don't know what she did with the hat pin, but I carried the hat pin in my purse. So in those days, when you traveled, you dressed up like you were going to church. You didn't travel like this. You had to be very well dressed. So when I got off the bus in Columbus, Ohio, I saw a restroom. So I went into the restroom and all these people kept looking at me. So why are they looking at me? So every time the bus stopped, I saw a restroom. And these people kept looking at me. I said, well, one thing Mother did dress me right, you know, and I was well dressed. But when I got in Clinton, Oklahoma, I found out why these people were looking at me. And I was only black on the Greyhound bus. That was all the money, you know, we just had money to travel Greyhound. But anyway, when I got off the bus, I saw a restroom, and I ran to the restroom. I got in it. It was so tiny. I said, I better hurry up and come out of here so the other women can use the restroom. So when I came out, I looked around. There was nobody waiting in line. So something said, look up, said colored restroom. I hadn't even noticed that. I said, now that's why these people were looking at me. Now this was in '57. So when I said, oh, well, let me go sit down, because these two sailors said they're going to hold the seat for me. One sailor here, one sailor, mind you, everybody is white, I'm the only black. So the lady said to me, you mind going to the back room? I said, back room? She said, yes. I said, well, where is it? So she showed me the back room. It was clean. It was dark. I said, no. So I came back and sat between the sailors. She said, well, we don't serve colored people here. So she took everything. I was so hungry. I didn't get to eat until I thought I was going to leave when I got in Amarillo, Texas. So when I got in Amarillo, Texas, I saw a waiting room. So I went over to the waiting room, and there was a black guy over there. He kept doing like this. So my mother says, I did him like that. Who do you want? I'm not coming over. Remember I got my hat pin, right? So he kept doing like this. I said, what do you want? You're in the wrong waiting room. I said, what? He said, you're in the wrong waiting room. That's a white waiting room. You're supposed to go in the black waiting room. I said, and I stayed in the white waiting room. So then I saw a place to eat. And by that time I got wise. I looked up, said black only. Here was this man. He was in there. Big, greasy, dirty man. The place was filthy. So again, I went hungry again. So I just want to, and that was before Martin Luther King started his march. So somewhere we all have these, you know, witness prejudiceness. My grandmother, how my grandfather got to Ohio, he didn't want my grandmother to work in the fields. And so the white man says she's got to work the fields. He says she's got children and she's going to raise them. So they were going to kill my grandfather. But word got to my grandfather that they're coming to get you. So grandmother said he bored a hole in the door and put a shotgun through the door. So when they knocked, he said, well, I'm going to get more of you all than you will of me. So they disappeared. But they were going to sneak me and get him, and word got to grandmother. So they put him in the wagon and put hay on him, on top of him. And that's how we got to Ohio. He got to the train before they could get to him. So we've been through this all our lives. But it made me do one thing, raise my children to see no color. The color does not matter. It's the person and what's inside of you that matter. So that's why Simone is so successful.
That's really nice.